Hey guys, my name is Marina and today I'm here with your monthly forecast for Aries for the period between the 20th of March and the 19th of April. Basically, this is the period when we are having the transit sun in Aries, in your own sign. So, as you can see on the 20th, in the beginning of this period, the transit sun enters Aries, which means that it will be in your own sign, in your first house. This is a very important transit, so it happens once in a year and it puts the beginning of a whole new year for you, like a new period and a new time when you can start different new things. Previously, the period was a little bit more introverted, more passive time for you, but from now, so from the 20th, you're entering a totally new time when you can change a lot of things, when you can start a lot of things. You may feel literally more energized, you may have more physical power, you may have more confidence. Also, you may notice that you want other people to pay attention, also to admire you in some way, because the transit sun is related with focusing the attention. And when it is in your first house, it means that you can attract the attention of other people. So that's a great transit. All of you are going to have actually also your birthday and your new solar return chart. So that's really a very important month for you Aries. Plus, we have also 4 or 5 planets in Aries most of the time, until the end of March actually. So we have the Sun, the retrograde Venus, Mercury and Uranus in your own sign, which means that there will be really lots of energy and it might become even too much sometimes for some people. The positive side of all this strong Aries energy is related with the opportunity to start something new, to be more initiative, to take certain risks. And the downside of it is that you might be too impulsive. You can take too unexpected, sudden decisions because you feel this strong desire to change something, to start something. So be prepared that you might be too impulsive, and sometimes these impulses can even make you a little bit more rude with other people. Aries are capable, to be too direct with others. It might be not an intentional insult or something like that, but sometimes you might be too on the point and not everyone can understand that. So be prepared that especially actually until the end of March, so these 10 days between the 20th and the 1st of April, there will be a lot of fire energy, and especially with lots of planets in Aries. So there are of course positives and possible difficulties. Also on the 27th we have a new moon again in Aries, and this brings even more energy for you. This is a great time for starting new things. The new moon in first house is the time when you can start new projects, when you may initiate something, you can take certain risks. And these are usually, these activities will be related with lots of, support, because the new moon brings a lot of energy from the outer space, like you're supported from the universe to take these actions. And everything which is started during a growing moon, and especially after a new moon in Aries, actually can be expanded very much in the future. So use this time to take the actions that you want to take, something that you have procrastinated or something like that. Now is a great time to do that. After that, on the 21st, we have the transit Mercury entering Taurus. The transit Mercury in Taurus will be in your second house, which means that it would be a great time for you to think about, analyze and focus more on your finances. For example, you can put an order in your finances. You may need to think more about this topic. You may need to be also more practical, because Taurus is related with being practical, with finding solutions, but in a, in a way that you can benefit financially from something. So Mercury in second house is a great transit, and also it would be great time to find to have new ideas how to earn money, how to improve your financial situations, how you can attract more resources in your life. After that, on the 3rd, we have the transit retrograde Venus going back to Pisces. So Venus has been retrograde for some time now, but it was in Aries. So now Venus is coming back to Pisces. And for you, this will be in your 12th house. So it will be a time when you may think more about the past, especially in terms of relationships. It's possible that some people from your past might come back in your life, or you might feel more, the desire to keep your emotions for yourself, because also 12th house is related with secrets, with things that are not visible for other people. So it's very possible that you may prefer to keep your emotions and not to reveal your feelings in front of others. And also 12th house is the house of separations and losses. So for some of you, this might be the time when you can separate, for example, with an old relationship which has already, is already gone, but for example, you haven't overcome that yet. Or now the situation in your current relationship may force you to separate with something. It can be literally separating with the partner, or at least separating with some kind of pattern that you're having regarding this area of your life. But basically, this is a time when you may enjoy and feel more comfortable to keep your emotions for yourself. And after that, on the 5th, we have Saturn turning retrograde in Sagittarius, which for you is in your 9th house. So when a planet is changing the direction, so turning from direct to retrograde, especially a few days around this change, the planet is stationary, which means that the energy is really focused and intense. And for you, it affects mostly the area of education, the area of your future goals, your expectations for the future, even your dreams, your plans, but some kind of long-term plans. And this is the time when you can be more focused on this. But when we talk about Saturn, usually it happens in a more serious way. You may need to be more realistic regarding your plans, regarding your expectations for the future. And something may need to be postponed in this area for you, because Saturn turning retrograde means that it might be not the time to, be focused so much ahead, but more to wait a little bit, or to analyze, or at least to make some kind of revisioning of your situation. So around these days, it would be better to be careful with traveling, if you need to travel, especially abroad, with your communication with foreigners, with education and this stuff. After that, on the 9th, we have the transit Mercury turning retrograde in Taurus. And it will be in your 2nd house, like we already said. So now is a time when you should be more careful with your finances. You should avoid taking new steps, starting something new, especially which includes investing in something or some kind of financial decisions. You should be more careful, because things may not be so simple. They might get complicated after some time, or just you may not be aware with the whole situation. So generally, when Mercury is retrograde, we should all be careful with contracts, with all kind of information, with all kind of communications with others. And in your case, it is especially related with your financial situation, with the financial area. So just be more careful and check everything twice and even more before you take a certain step, especially in this area. After that, on the 11th, we have a full moon in Libra and Aries, so it is in your 7th and 1st house. And generally the full moons are a time when we need to realize something, when we can separate with something, and in this case it's mostly related with your relationships with other people, especially close relationships. So this might be the time when you may need to change something in this area, to make a compromise even, because first 7th house is this axis when you need to pay attention to the needs of the other person. And for some people, for example, it might be a time when you can decide to separate with a partner, or to make a total change in this area, or to realize your situation, to become more aware of what's happening right now in the area of relationships for you. And finally, on the 14th, we have Venus turning direct. And Venus is turning direct in Pisces, which is your 12th house, but most of the time Venus was retrograde in Aries, in your 1st house. So it's affecting both of these areas. So in your case, it means that it will affect your personal emotional state, because it is 1st house. Even your appearance, you may decide to change something, especially if you have taken some decisions during the past few around 40 days while Venus was retrograde. Now, from now on, you may reconsider your decisions, and it includes everything in the area of relationships, your personal decisions in your relationship. And also, because Venus is actually stationary in Pisces in your 12th house, it's affecting your also your desire to spend time alone. You may decide to get out of this introverted period. You may decide that you're no longer wanting to keep your emotions only for yourself, and you may become more ready to reveal your feelings in front of others, and to separate, to look ahead, because 12th house and Pisces are more related with the past. So from now on, you may change, you may switch your vision, and you may want to be more focused ahead and in the future. And actually, we all should do that after Venus changes its direction. So these were the most important transits and indications during this period. Thank you very much for watching, and see you around.